Hey guys, welcome to the CNC Connection. I'm Corey Mogwin with my associate Colin Hensel. Tonight we're going to be talking some shows, Game of Thrones and Mad Men.
Game of Thrones, yeah. You want to start off with Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones again. So a couple decent episodes.
Sods.
That's decent, if you were wondering. It's going to catch on. Alright, so yeah, Game of Thrones, let's talk.
Yeah, where do you want to start?
There's a lot of plots going on. Let's start in the north and we'll work our way south.
So
Jon Snow.
All the way up to Jon Snow. Okay, so just to give a background, Corey hasn't read the books. I've listened to the first book.
Let's clarify. You don't read, you listen,
Don't
which is
read.
way cooler.
Audiobooks only for Colin. Read or listened to the first book after I watched the season. Actually, I kind of skipped ahead. Whatever. Doesn't matter. First season, I've read the first book and watched the first season. Stop listening if you haven't seen up to the 8th episode of Game of Thrones because we're going to spoil.
Spoiler alerts.
And Mad Men. We're going to do that later.
Yep.
But I read a little bit. I read about almost a half of the second book. So I'm totally new right now. Don't know anything coming up. And Corey kind of uses me as a little background.
He's my little research buddy.
Call me a Colinopedia.
Colopedia. If I'm confused, I just look right at him and he tells me, no, that's so and so. He does this, you know. It comes in handy because I really have I don't know how people do it. I mean, when I watch shows, I gotta admit, I don't really sometimes I drift off anybody does, but I really don't understand how the common viewer of shows understands it so well. There's no possible way to grasp. I don't even think you grasp it, and you've read
Yeah.
Does George Martin grasp what's going on here?
There's definitely some things that kind of get pushed on the rug or are hard to follow, especially if you haven't read the books.
Yeah.
In the TV show, because in the books you get a more inner monologue, and that helps a lot.
Yeah.
But
and they also skimp with money too.
Yeah.
There's money restrictions which hurt the show. The whole Jaime being captured in season 1.
I think the whole thing, the only reason why they do 10 episodes is the money problem, because it's such they just shoot it in 4 different places. I think they're in Iceland for Beyond the Wall.
Yeah, I don't even know if all the cast members have met each other probably.
No, definitely not. I'm pretty sure they haven't, because they just shoot different places.
Yep.
But yeah, if I wasn't such a nerd and wasn't so into the show, I would definitely not put the effort into research it and figure out what actually was going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Beyond the Wall, Jon Snow captured last week.
Yep.
Taken to the Lord of Bones.
The Lord of Bones. He's a badass. He's got bones on his body, and he wears a bear skull.
He was pretty cool.
We don't know if it's a bear skull.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out what kind of skull that was. It fit perfectly to his face.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Maybe it's.
It definitely wasn't human because it was bigger, but
no. Yeah, now we're
besides the point.
Yeah. So yeah, they want to kill Jon Snow.
Wanted to kill Jon Snow.
But they also have the commander.
Ygritte said no. Ned Stark's son. Bring him the Man Schrader, King Beyond the Wall. Figured that out after we recorded the first time. This is our second time recording. A little mess up. My fault.
Yeah.
But we saw the leader of the task force,
Spec Ops,
SEAL Team 8, Beyond the Wall style. But he
quickly.
I forget who his name is. He's some of them call them the best ranger. Sorry about that. The most important ranger.
He's a big dude in the wall in the north. But we're gonna be clear about this right now. We do not know any names. I don't think anyone does. I mean, there's so many characters on this show. It's literally. I feel like I'm going to high school again, trying to learn everybody's names.
Yeah, it's definitely tough with the names because there's just too many.
Plus, they're confusing names.
Yeah. I know most. I still forget some that I just learned. We just looked up one and I already forgot it.
Yep. Assassin.
The assassin guy. Yeah. But. We don't know the names. We're gonna try to do our best to describe them. Well, you'll
know who it is.
And if you do know the names and think we're idiots, you can tell us.
You should probably put your phone on vibrate if we're gonna be on a podcast. Put my phone on vibrate. All right. Yeah. In the north, Jon Snow and the commander being led to a Mance Raider. And obviously the commander...
Not the commander. Don't come... Because the commander is...
Task Force Spec Ops guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It rolled right off the tongue. He said he wants to kill Mance Raider, and he's like, you know what?
Well,
here's the plan.
We don't know that. That's what the plan was to begin with.
Yeah.
He says, what does he say? He says, you know what needs to be done. Pushes Jon Snow, has a faux fight with Jon Snow, and pushes him down. Then it kind of just stops after that, so we don't know what's happening.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. But Ygritte showed him the eye.
Yeah, it looked like she wanted to jump his bones.
Yeah. Get a little snow inside her.
That's
bad. That's not called for.
Yeah.
All right.
Bad Corey.
We're going... Yeah, that's north. We don't really know what's going to happen next. They're not really giving us any information. Oh, they found the obsidian arrows.
We almost forgot that last time. We did forget that last time.
Yeah.
But they found the obsidian arrows. Some ranger must have left it because they found the ranger's coat, but it was the first men.
Yeah.
Markings or something, but we really have no idea what that's for. I don't think they
didn't explain it at all.
So yeah, Beyond the Wall's got a few good things coming.
We think we have no idea what's going on. But just like there were...
Oh, they're coming.
Just like
they're coming.
Just like everyone in Westeros, we do not know what's going on beyond the wall.
Yeah.
Let's go south to Winterfell. We forgot about this in the last podcast. Yeah, it was pretty much the main point of the whole episode was the kids being burnt.
Oh, yeah. We just skipped that. Well, I mean, we pretty much knew that wasn't them, because they wouldn't...
Yeah, you called it. You called it. I didn't. I thought...
You thought it was them?
At first, I didn't have much time to think about it, because you're like, no, that has to be the orphans. I'm like, oh, well, okay, that makes sense.
Well, I had time to think about it, and I didn't think it was the orphans right away. Me and someone else were talking about it, and... They kind of pointed out. I didn't even realize they were at the farm already. I thought they were at Winterfell. I thought they lost the scent and they went back.
Well,
to
I knew
Winterfell.
they were at the farm.
Yeah, but nonetheless, they see a master. One of the maesters, the maester of Winterfell.
The one that wasn't killed.
The one that was not killed. What was the one that was killed?
Remember Greyjoy decapitated him? Wasn't that the maester?
That's not a maester. Is the other guys that wear the rings. They're like
whatever, the old guy with the
like
funny ponytail beard.
That's he's just a good fighter, sword guy.
The old guy was?
Yeah, he's supposed to be a really good fighter.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it by looking at him.
I would not.
Yeah, he was like Ned's right hand man.
Okay.
Well,
he's
real important to the family. That's why the maester's like he's important. Starks will pay for him because. Everyone knows Greyjoy is fucked
he's done.
If they come back. We're skipping around. Okay, Yasha. They see Yasha. I think that's her name. The
Wildling.
The Wildling. I think her name's different in the book, but Yasha and they got the guys there, but so they're safe. Rickon and Bran are safe with Hodor.
They're safe in the little crypt thing.
Right.
Or crypt. Den. We'll call it a den.
They were at the farm?
I think so.
They must have been, because she was explaining they went back, doubled back to the...
I think they are at Winterfell, because now they double backed, and it's the last place they would look.
They're at Winterfell?
They might be. I don't know.
I thought they were at the farm paying the farm... Like, Greyjoy wanted to pay the farmer to keep him silent. To not say that they killed the orphans instead.
Yeah, maybe that's it then.
But I think they're just upstairs in the farm, and they're like, this would be the last place they'd look.
I don't know.
No, they would have looked at the whole farm, I think.
That's why I thought it was Winterfell. Maybe not. Anyways, Greyjoy he's got a whole shitstorm coming right at him.
Yeah, he's got his sister's army now, but she wants to leave because they're not on the coast. Yeah. The Greyjoys.
They're sea people.
They don't do good out of water.
No, they're fish. So, yeah, that's pretty much... We summed that up pretty good. Let's go Harrenhal.
Harrenhal.
If you don't... Yeah, I'll say a name, and it's not going to be correct, but it'll vaguely come up...
It'll sound like someone...
Yeah, I'll say the name, he'll correct it. Let's go to Harrenhal.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Arya.
And,
Link.
Yeah. Little Link. Arya
She wants Tywin dead.
Wants Tywin Lannister dead.
Because he's marching towards Robb and they're doing a little sneak attack and she's trying to prevent this.
I don't know why she waited so long.
Yeah, she knew it was happening, didn't she?
Yeah. She should have been right. No, not that she didn't know it was happening. She could have said Tywin Lannister to begin with. Like.
Yeah. I think it's because he was actually the only one being nice to her. If it wasn't for him, she might be dead.
True.
The tickler would have gotten to her.
The tickler would have gotten to Gendry, definitely.
Yeah.
But so she wants to get out of Harrenhal. She wants her and her friends to escape. She offers. That's what she wants from him now, but that would take more than one life, which is all he has left to give to the Red God. Same God from the Red Lady. Stannis.
We think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But so he kind of goes back and forth, but she threatens to name his name to kill him.
And he has to honor the oath no matter what, so he would have to kill himself. And he says, "No, I think I'll just maybe kill 4 more people instead of dying."
Yeah, they.
She played him like a fiddle. Go Link.
Go Arya, he means.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how that went, and they safely were able to escape because all the guards were dead. And
let's talk about how badass this guy is. He kills 4 guards without anyone noticing, and they look like they're just standing there.
Yeah, the whole point I think was to make it look like the guards were there, but they're dead. So. He was able to do that.
I mean, no one's arguing how good this guy is at his craft. I mean, he's top notch.
Yeah, I hope that's not the last we see from him.
Definitely not, because he's one of my favorite characters.
It feels like, I mean, that's the last part that they need from him, and he's going to be in Harrenhal.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is that there's a battle.
If something, or maybe someone finds out that he's the assassin.
Maybe.
That's the only way I think he could.
Maybe he escapes too. I mean, he could escape. It feels like he could escape at any time. Because he could kill anyone he wants.
He's a Jedi.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for that storyline. Gendry, Hot Pie.
Yeah.
That's the big kid. You probably don't know that.
Yeah, you said Hot Pie, so I got
and Arya get out. And I don't know, where do you think they're going to go?
I would assume to Robb. He's the closest one,
She probably knows where he is, too. That's a good point. I was thinking Winterfell, but that's...
too far.
I don't know how far Harrenhal and Winterfell are away from each other.
Don't they know that Theon... Oh, she doesn't know yet, does she?
I don't think she knows. No, she doesn't know.
No, because she would have found out that their brothers are dead.
There would definitely be some... They would definitely shown her reaction about it.
Let's go to Robb's camp with Jaime being set free.
The exciting Robb's camp on their way to the Aggro Crag, I think.
The Aggro Crag.
Yeah. Well, before that, Catelyn sends Brienne with Jaime to King's Landing to negotiate a trade for her daughters. They don't know. Arya...
They don't know Arya's gone.
Yeah, Littlefinger told her that Arya was... They had Arya, but that was obviously a lie.
Yep.
But I think he does know Arya's with the Lannisters. He hasn't been in the show for at least this episode. I think it's been a couple episodes we haven't seen him.
Right.
So he's probably scheming something. So it's probably good that Arya was able to get out of Harrenhal.
Yeah, definitely. We do think that he knew, because he had some kind of glances like, "Oh, is that Arya?"
Yeah, she was definitely nervous, and I think he knows. I mean, we could be wrong, but he knows.
Let's talk about how the mother, Catelyn.
Yeah.
She completely fucked everything up by setting Jaime free. They have no leverage now.
Robb was pretty pissed.
They're relying on an unhonorable man's word, because we know Jaime is not.
Well, they don't really. They're not really relying on Jaime. They're relying on Brienne to be able to get Jaime in and.
But once she's in the Hornet's Nest, how much can she do?
And
there's a battle coming.
There's a battle coming.
There's going to be so much shit going on.
I don't know how that's going to turn out.
Catelyn fucked up.
She did, but I mean, this is what's been leading the whole time. It's like they have a prisoner that they want. They have
nothing,
and they know that
nothing
it's like a stalemate because they can't kill him.
Jaime's been sitting the entire season.
I mean, would you rather have Sansa with Joffrey or? I mean, he was going to die if she didn't send him away. So, she basically saved Sansa's life, if you think about it.
She could have been dead already if it weren't for the dog.
Yeah, very
Big
true.
Bad dog.
The dog, the bounty hunter. We're talking about Clegane.
Clegane?
Gregor Clegane, and Sandor is the giant. Gregor is the dog, so that's right. Yeah, so I think, he does that. There was a lot happening in Rob's camp, and not that much exciting happening.
No, a lot of awful dialogue.
That was a little exciting, I guess, that they sent away Jamie. That's a big plot point.
It was so early in the episode, though. And then after that, we kind of forgot about it because they're just rowing down a river. But then we go back to Rob's camp, and...
was Rob having any important meetings? Did he say anything? I'm just trying to think. To, like, his like, generals or anything like that.
I think they were about to advance or whatever, weren't they? And then they're like, oh, no, Jamie's gone. And he's like, what?
Yeah, I don't remember what they said, or if they're just on their way to the crag.
Yeah, I think they might have gone to the crag, the aggro crag.
And I didn't follow all the battle strategy, because Tywin Lannister is saying they're gonna go at night, surprise him. Arya wants to probably away. She probably definitely wants to go to Rob to tell him about what's happening.
And just proximity wise.
Yeah, and what was I saying?
Yeah, let's talk about the foreign bitch. That we can't stand.
The medic who was a lady in Valeria.
Volantis.
I
know that one because it sounds Atlantis.
And she's foreign. No one trusts her. Rob's getting a little crap for it, for letting her come. And she's always butting in. She just walks in. She's
nosing in.
And that's not always... I know most people are like, oh, may I come in? And stuff like that for most of the kings, because there's 5 of them now.
Yeah, there's too many kings. But yeah, she just rambles on and on about this whole brother death scene, and it's these kind of dialogues that we know why it's happening. It's money constrictions. It has to be. And it just seems to slow down everything in the show, and you kind of lose interest. And this one was especially true because it was just terrible. I mean, I was slamming my head against the wall, waiting for this scene to be over with. And then you get to see her ass, which is small compensation because there was only side boob. But you did get to see a little bit of Rob.
A little bit of Rob.
Which is always nice. I'm gay. I'm not gay.
Oh, silencing the doubters, Corey Mulligan. They've done this a few times this season. It's just the scene seems longer than a Game of Thrones scene should be. I've heard a couple people say that.
Let's cut the battle scenes. Let's throw more dialogue in, basically. Save some cash, because this show is going to cost a lot of money. We've talked about it before.
We literally know nothing about her, so I guess that helps, but I didn't
At the same time, we don't want to know, because we have too many characters on our plate as it is, and we don't want another ancillary character who's just going to be, basically a sex thing for Rob.
I think something's going to happen with her.
Well, they want to get married. We know that now.
Yeah. Well, at least they don't want him to be
married to some other one.
Yeah, or like
we don't know about.
Committed to another marriage.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows what's gonna happen with that? That guy seemed pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Did we get to see her give him like
head?
No. Did we see Catelyn like go to that guy and because in the book that guy was like really crazy and he was like insecure, so he kind of made Catelyn promise that.
Yeah.
But that was in the first book. So yeah, they do the nasty.
Yeah, they do the nasty in a fire pit or next to the fireplace.
Yeah,
and
very
that
romantic.
That scene, and it was just terrible. We didn't like it. Really.
Not one bit. No nipples at all.
No nipples at all.
No bush. They usually get bush.
No bush. Maybe that's she's on this high pedestal that they did. We're not going to give away. Kind of like the Karen complex in Californication. We're not going to show you anything.
Well, some actresses are just too high for that. Yeah. I was surprised that the Yara, the wildling, yeah, Arya, showing a lot. The wildling was able to show full frontal.
Who?
Yara.
Oh, Yara. I thought I meant Egret for a second. Like that didn't happen. Let's go over the seas to Karth.
Okay. Not much in Karth. We could say that about almost every place.
Yeah, but I think it's something to say that we have what's his face, Duck Sauce. You know his name better than I do.
Sorozoan Duck Sauce.
Yes, the one black person on the show. Let's go into this now. We talked about.
I just gotta say his name's not Duck Sauce. I just say Duck Sauce. I can't remember what his real name is. Yeah.
It's D-O-X-A-S.
It sounds exactly like duck sauce every time they say it.
The one black person on the show, and this got me thinking. You know, George Martin, the writer of the books. He's a weird dude. He looks kind of weird. We're not doubting his writing ability. I mean, you said the books are kind of hard to follow, but story-wise, he's got it all.
Yeah, it's definitely a good story.
It's all there.
Interesting.
One black person on the show. Now, did he write this like that? Did he describe the characters at all, or?
He definitely describes most characters very visually, so you get a good idea.
And were there any other?
In the
races
first,
other than
in
white.
the first book, I don't remember anything but the Dothrakis that weren't white. But in Westeros, strictly white. No. Oh, there was the pirate.
But he's not from. He's not.
Sand. I don't remember where he's from.
Yeah, we don't know. He's from Garth with a duck sauce.
I think he's just been a pirate. So.
Yeah, and you got the Dothrakis who look Persian, little Middle Eastern bunch. Dothrakis.
Yeah, definitely. They look a little Persian. But in Westeros...
Pure white.
White.
And that's something to say, because you got George Martin, weird dude, we're going to agree. He might be racist, because he's not supplying any other characters other than white people, and a little bit of maybe 2% black people. Not even, I wouldn't even go that high.
But they're not... One's only set foot on Westeros for
a second. Although they are going to use his ships, right?
Yeah, he's helping...
Stannis.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he might be a racist, and we obviously know he's a fan of incest.
Loves incest.
Because there might be 5 counts of incest on the show.
Oh, at least.
From different characters, I'm saying. There's more than 5 counts. I mean, you got Jaime and Cersei.
That started out. First episode.
Fionn is finger banging his sister.
Yeah, his sister's name is Yara. That's what I was saying. Yasha is the wildling.
Weird dude up in the north having sex with all of his daughters and throwing all of his bastard children, not bastard, I don't know what you consider it, incestual children into the woods to be fed to white walkers.
All the boys. Yeah, keeps the girls for later.
Yeah, so yeah, he's a weird.
We don't know. We see White Walkers. That I'm not totally sure if that's been explained all the way yet. Because if there was White Walkers right there. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's fully explained yet.
So yeah, good, decent episode of Game of Thrones. Not the greatest. More to come. It looks like.
We did forget one thing in King's Landing. They're getting ready for the siege. Joffrey mentioned something about walking out there to fight Stannis instead of having a siege.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen with that, but Cersei thinks she found. The whore, yeah.
But it was all a ploy.
Tyrion's whore.
Gave him the Amidala technique.
We think, or I think, that Varys being sort of friends with Tyrion gave the wrong girl up.
Yeah.
Because she definitely said Varys told him.
He's holding his cards close to the chest, though. We don't know what side he's...
Varys? Yeah, that's the thing about Varys. He's been there. He's never had any trouble.
That's why I think
he knows
everything. But
there was a good. I like the scene with Tyrion and him, and he was like, "What do you want? Yeah,
why are you here? What are you doing?"
And Littlefinger said that in the past, like, "How do you trust a eunuch? You don't know what he wants."
Yeah.
And so
very decent episode.
Decent.
We got a couple minutes left. Let's talk about Mad Men. Kind of a bland episode. I didn't really like where it was going. The whole Lane thing was just not well executed at all. It was very bad.
Yeah, if you watched it, you can. You probably know what we're talking about. Lane starts off, gets a call from England about owing money for taxes, I think.
Taxes. There's apparently a tax crisis going on in 1966. It's destroying rich British people. Apparently he's still a citizen there and he's still paying taxes, and this is severely hurting his financial issues. Yeah,
we read something like the Beatles even wrote a song about it, I think.
Taxmen.
And... yeah, it's like a 90% tax. I don't know what it was. They didn't explain it at all. I thought it was something from prior episodes that I forgot.
Yeah, we were rattling our brains together trying to think if did we miss something, because they didn't tell us anything. they just threw it right at the beginning of the episode. We're right, the intro passes, Lane's in trouble. We're like, what's going on? No intro or no.
That's something
information.
That's something Mad Men I think just does. They kind of
Mad Men doesn't care.
They want
you're on your own.
They kind of want you to know a little history and
figure out the time period. Go inside the time period.
Yep, and so that was a main part. He, just to skip through and go through his actions.
Yeah.
He wants bonuses, doesn't give bonuses, embezzles a little bit of money.
Something with Don's money too. He forged Don's check or something.
He forged Don's signature. I think it was just for, they just need Don's signature to
Validate
cash the check.
Okay.
Probably because he signed it.
Which is weird because it seems like Lane is the financial guy.
Right, I'm sure they need another partner though because
You're right. Someone to sign off on it.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about tax. How you do taxes? I don't know. But yeah, let's talk about. So yeah, it wasn't well played at all. Lane, the whole it just fell flat. I didn't like it. Let's talk. What else went on? Joan and Don.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite part. I always liked Joan. I always liked Don. But
well, it starts off because Joan is served papers, divorce papers from her, the army guy. And that scene is just, it was funny because she just went off and like, what'd she say? Well, here's an airplane now, and she whips a model airplane at this funny receptionist. She's just so clueless and doesn't know what's going on.
She goes,
"You're not allowed to do that.
You're not allowed to do that."
Like, no shit. You're not allowed. You're not allowed to throw airplanes or toys. But we were talking about this before. I don't think that would have been as effective as funny in another show, because Mad Men has this like thing where it keeps you engaged, but at the same time, nothing really happens. Nothing over the top that much, anyways.
Yeah, especially this season, they've been able to keep us. I really like this season
Prior.
a lot.
Oh, this season.
Yeah,
okay.
I like this season a lot, but there's really nothing happening.
Nothing at all.
But it's basically just showing. But go back to the comedy. Yeah, I think Mad Men has some funny moments.
Definitely.
We were talking about the lawnmower.
The lawnmower scene was
Someone gets
very
run over.
memorable. And the secretary dying.
Secretary dying. There's a few more.
You remember
there's been a lot this season. I think there's one. There's at least one.
Roger getting a blowjob, maybe?
Roger getting a blowjob's funny. One moment every episode that makes
episodes?
me laugh, I think.
One episode? Every episode?
I think so,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I would have to go back and figure it out, but I remember laughing a few times.
It definitely has its moments, and I think it's, like I said, I don't think it would work as well in a different show. Like, you throw that airplane throwing scene on Californication, it's just going to be a scene.
Yeah.
Every scene like that is in Californication.
It can't be a serious as it has to be a serious show.
Yeah.
But it's a legitimately funny show. It can be funnier than some of the comedies, I think.
I think that's why, yeah, because the moments are genuine.
Yeah.
It's not just every scene's comedy. This is a drama essentially, and if you throw a comedy moment in there, it's going to be more effective because it's going off the curve, I guess you want to say.
And I think a big draw to me is it feels real.
Definitely, it's like when we were talking about this before. I think it was last season when Don was sick and he had this dream that he killed someone. We're like, oh my god, this show just may have jumped the shark.
Yeah, I was actually excited because I thought it would have been cool.
It could have been like a complete 180. We're just going to throw this in there.
I think the most audience members would have been
that
hated it, and
it's just the Breaking Bad in me,
Yeah, that's exactly what
happen.
you would expect from Breaking Bad. But I really like it. You feel like you're in that time period. You feel it's realistic. It reminds me of The Wire. I think that has a similar appeal to it. But yeah, that we can go more on with Don and Joan, thing that was going on.
Yeah, they were flirting. They rented a new Jaguar, essentially, and basically went out to a bar and had a couple drinks together.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna happen. I thought Don was gonna finally cheat.
Seal
That's I think the main point of this season is what's
Is Don
leading
gonna
up to
remain
Don
faithful?
cheating.
Is he going to go back to his old ways of cheating?
I think he has to.
Yeah, I agree. And this is weird for me because I hated when he cheated on January Jones. It drove me insane. I'm like, this is the worst character ever. I almost stopped watching Mad Men in season 3 because of the whole situation with them. It was just so boring and just like gritty. But now that Megan has come in, and I'm alone on this one, I know, but I hate Megan, and I'm just like, any woman that enters the room, like, Peggy, please just jump Don so we can, like...
Peggy and Don, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be funny. Yeah, I personally like Megan. I think most people do. I'm sure there's some people out there that don't.
It drives me up the wall. I don't know what it is about her.
She's definitely like the anti-Betty, but this episode she shows a little bit that she's a little bit like Betty when she throws a little fit.
Oh yeah, well the last scene, she whipped her beloved spaghetti against the wall, which is something, very un-Megan-like, 'cause she loves her spaghetti. But I think that was a turning point for Don, too, because, January Jones starts pulling... Well, let's go back, because whenever Megan does start doing this shit, Don just grabs her by the neck and says, "Oh, you want it so bad." And then basically does a doggy style with Megan, from what or maybe I just imagined that.
I don't think she ever did a doggy style. They did it on the floor that one time.
Yeah, I thought it was...
When they were in a fight and all of a sudden they were just...
doing it
on the floor.
It happened 2 times prior, but he tries going for, lucky number 3 and he's denied. And I think if January Jones pulled that shit with old Don would have just, walked out and banged some chick.
Yeah, I don't think I ever remember a scene
where Don backs down.
I think there was probably 2 times I can remember where they actually are intimate, Don and Betty.
Yeah.
Because they were just... Don was
very distant.
Don was getting it elsewhere. So he's...
Getting it daily, nightly, never so rarely. No quotes of Turco. Chris Turk. Scrubs. I'm wondering.
But, yeah, I think it's going to happen at the end of the season. Because they got to mix it up a little bit. It's like the Californication. We talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because there's no show if he's faithful.
If he's with Karen.
Well,
he's always been faithful.
No.
He's never cheated on her. Not knowingly. I mean,
yeah.
he mouth raped that chick because he thought it was Karen.
That's true. There's definitely a time where he did. The second... He gets back with her the second season, right?
Yeah.
How did they break up? Just because of the...
No, well, she forgave him, but then she's like, I don't know if I can do this because he's always like in some kind of shit. It's never his fault, which is true. It's never fully his fault, but he gets into these situations, and she's like, I can't handle this. I love you, but I'm not going to marry you.
Maybe you're right.
He's always been faithful when they've been together, but the thing is, they've never.
Well, prior to this season, I don't think he was. Was he?
He was. She was the one who cheated. But he drove her to the point because he was being such a dick with his movie deal and stuff.
Okay.
LA was
definitely the Californication.
I am the Californication
expert.
But yeah, so we think Don will be cheating.
Yeah, I definitely think that. I want to ask you one question.
Okay.
About the scene a few episodes ago where Don walks up. It was right after she told him she wanted to quit advertising and go into acting.
Yeah.
Or not right after she left, after she said bye to everyone and leaves, and goes to have lunch with whoever. He hits the button to go down after she does.
Yeah.
But there's no elevator. What do you think that was?
I feel like it was an allusion to, an allusion, not illusion. An allusion to, he had this pipe dream with her that he was finally going to have this woman that he saw eye to eye with and everything challenged him in the department. And he looks down in this empty black void, and that's his dream girl going down there, and there's nothing he can do about it. That's what I saw it as. I know it's a little deep and contrived, maybe, but that's what I took away from it. I think that's what Matthew Weiner was trying to get across.
That's a good thing. I thought he was instantly going to find some poon. That's exactly what I was going through my head. But once the elevator wasn't there, he questioned himself, and he just went back.
I don't think.
So what was he doing hitting the button for?
You
don't know? You just don't know?
Maybe he went down to talk to her. I think he went down to maybe finally confide how much he wanted her, but then he realized...
He waited... This is why I don't think that is. He waited the instant... maybe you're right, because the instant she went down, but it was almost like he planned it.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe because Don's a conniving bastard.
He wasn't. The reason I say that is because it wasn't like it just popped in his head like I need to go get her and stop her. It was she's gone. I'm gonna go cheat.
Yeah. Maybe. Who knows? That's the thing about Mad Men. There's a lot of ways you can play it. But unfortunately, I think that's all the time we have tonight. Usually we go for half an hour, but. We'll make an exception every... This is the first episode, I shouldn't say anything. But, yeah, we're going to talk about everything on the show. We got TV shows, we got sports, let's talk video games, movies, music. Movies. I don't think we'll go to music, but...
Probably not.
Yeah, we got enough on our plate, and we're not really... I mean, all the music I listen to is before 1970. Yeah. So, and, yeah. So, yeah, Corey, you can follow me on Twitter at GenZarPro, and this is Colin.
Colin, you can follow me at Colin Hensel. And we'll make a Twitter account for the show.
Yep,
and we'll do that too.
And probably a YouTube. Follow us, subscribe to us. We'll be on every so often. I think next time we'll talk some sports and maybe because Celtics are playing tomorrow night.
Yeah,
we're Celtics fans.
We'll do.
But we'll try to vary the field. We'll talk about
yeah.
everything. All right, guys, this is us signing off. CNC Connection.